listening to WUSM Hattiesburg. It's time for Southern Miss Today. Southern Miss Today is WUSM's news and public affairs program. Southern Miss Today airs Monday through Thursday at noon. Southern Miss Today is sponsored by Mississippi Beverages. And now to start the show, Southern Miss Student Media News.
Welcome to Southern Miss Today on Southern Miss Radio. You are here with Madison Warren. I'm here to give you all the news surrounding Hattiesburg and the world, so let's dive in. This week is International Education Week at USM. This week celebrates culture and diversity with different events happening every day. The Cultural and Diversity Fair is happening right now in the Union Lobby. There will be a Parade of Nations at 12:15 in the Union Lobby, which is always really cool, and then an International Food Fest in the Fresh until 2 p.m. The Christian organization on campus known as Cru will be having Text for Cookies tomorrow night. More information about that will be issued tomorrow. The USM Concert Band and Symphonic Winds will be performing tomorrow night at 7:30 in the Bennett Auditorium. If you want a good way to go ahead and get in the Christmas spirit this year, you can do that by providing a magical Christmas to a child in Hattiesburg. The American Market Association is presenting the Salvation Army Angel Tree program starting today through December 4th. You can pick out an angel from the tree on the first floor of Sienna Hall, and gifts must be dropped off at the hatchery on the second floor of Sienna on or before December 5th at 5 p.m. If you have any questions, contact Kayla Barnacle at kayla.barnacle@usm.edu. Speaking of the hatchery, this week is Global Entrepreneurship Week at USM, and many look forward to the Golden Idea Weekend coming up this weekend and being able to host many high school students from across the state for the Southern Entrepreneurship Program's annual statewide summit happening this week. Veterans Day weekend was wrapped up in Hattiesburg in style. The Hattiesburg Concert Band, entering its 39th season, held a free Veterans Day concert Sunday afternoon in the Singer Theater. The all-volunteer band played a selection of patriotic music to honor the veterans who came out for the show. Announcements regarding future concerts can be found on the band's Facebook page. The Hattiesburg Zoo may seem like it's missing some animals over the next few days. With temperatures dropping, various animals are having to be housed inside, keeping them warm and protecting their health. Though many animals will have to be in their indoor housing, the zoo still makes an effort to make the zoo fun and interactive. Though they may be in a different spot, employees ensure that the Hattiesburg Zoo is just as fun in the winter as it is in the summer. Lights of the Wild is an event that will take place over 14 nights from December 2nd to December 23rd. This year, the zoo has added more than 500 new holiday-themed lanterns to its current collection of beautiful exotic lights. Lights of the Wild is an outdoor rain or shine event, and tickets are non-refundable. Tickets can be purchased at the Hattiesburg Zoo website. Tickets are not guaranteed at the gate. In national news, the University of Idaho President Scott Green said 4 students have been found dead near campus on Sunday and are believed to be victims of homicide. Police in Moscow, Idaho, on Sunday responded to reports of an unconscious person on King Road near the university's golf course and adjacent to Greek Row, and located the 4 deceased students upon arrival. Classes are canceled today for them and will resume tomorrow. And also, shots were fired at the University of Virginia, and a suspect is in custody after 3 football players were killed and 2 other students were injured in a mass shooting that happened last night. The shooting took place on a bus full of students returning home from a class field trip to see a play in Washington, D.C., university officials said. The suspect, identified as student Christopher Darnell Jones Jr., was taken into custody this morning following an overnight manhunt. Investigations are still underway. In other news, Dolly Parton is getting recognized for the work beyond her 9 to 5 of being the queen of country music. Amazon founder Jeff Bezos and his partner Lauren Sanchez awarded the country music star and philanthropist with $100 million on November 12th as part of the Bezos Courage and Civility Award. The award recognizes leaders who aim high, find solutions, and who always do it with civility, Sanchez said. She added the awardees can direct the $100 million to the charities that they see fit. Congratulations, Dolly. We'll be right back with sports and weather after these messages.
Sponsorship for Southern Miss Today comes from Mississippi Beverages. Mississippi Beverages provides water coolers, and coffee service throughout South Mississippi. Take half of your weight in pounds. That's how many ounces of water you need a day. Mr. Sippy Beverages can help you reach that goal by delivering fresh water to your door. To start, Mr. Sippy will give you 1 month cooler rental and 2 bottles of water for free. To get more information or to set up a cooler and water delivery, you can call Mr. Sippy Beverages at 601-271-2420, or you can find them online. Sponsorship comes from American Graphics. Located at 8 Commercial Warehouse Drive in Hattiesburg, American Graphics provides custom screen printing and embroidery. They can be reached by phone at 601-602-2277. And the website is goamericangraphics.com. American Graphics, printing at its finest.
Hey Southern Miss Radio, this is Charlie Luttrell from the 4th Street Sports Show, a student sports radio show and podcast covering everything going on in Southern Miss athletics. Our group is back this year to keep the coverage going and bring you a fresh perspective on your favorite teams. If you want to catch up on all the sports events and hear from the players and coaches themselves, then make sure to tune in to Southern Miss Radio 88.5 every Monday at 5 p.m.
Welcome back to the top. Southern Miss men's basketball will be playing tonight at 7 p.m. in the Reed Green Coliseum against Loyola New Orleans. The game will be broadcasted through ESPN. It is Faculty and Staff Appreciation Night, and there will also be a limited Nasty Nest student shirt giveaway. Congrats to Ryan Dupuy for being named Sunbelt Golfer of the Week last week. Ryan finished the fall season with 2 back-to-back individual wins at the Little Rock Invitational and the White Sands Bahamas Invitational. The Southern Miss Golden Eagle football team will take on South Alabama this Saturday at home in the last home game of the season. I am a little sad that it's coming to an end, but they will play L.A. Monroe away November 26th at 4 p.m. at L.A. Monroe in their last game of the season. In weather, look for clouds to increase later today with highs in the lower 60s. There's a chance for showers this evening with lows in the upper 40s to lower 50s. After midnight, look for showers and thunderstorms with lows in the upper 40s. The chance of rain is 90%. We have cloudy skies in the forecast on Tuesday with a 30% chance for a few morning showers. By Tuesday afternoon, look for mostly cloudy skies with highs in the 50s. It will also be breezy with north winds at 15 to 20 miles per hour. Look for temperatures to be in the upper 30s by Wednesday morning. By Wednesday afternoon, look for mostly sunny skies with highs in the mid-50s. For Thursday through the weekend, expect highs in the 50s and lows in the upper 20s to lower 30s with no rain expected. It has gotten really, really cold. That is just insane. But I can't complain. I really do like it. 35 degrees is much better than 102. So, I'll take it. But, Jackson, so how was your weekend? I know you weren't here. What day was that? Wednesday?
It's Wednesday, yeah.
So I had to play you, but that's okay.
I appreciate it. I was able to go back and watch it. You did well, so that was very good. Had to meet with my group project because nobody else could find any other time to meet. And dadgummit, we had a due date.
That's how it works.
Absolutely. But yeah, I know it's cold. You just had a long walk over here. So how did it feel for you?
It was nice. It was nice. I really do like cold weather. I really am loving it. So I'm just excited for Christmas and Thanksgiving. I guess it comes first, but I really am looking forward to Christmas. I already want to put the Christmas tree up, but my roommates aren't letting me do that yet. They don't want to skip Thanksgiving. So
yeah, let's not jump the shark here. Thanksgiving's pretty cool too for us that like to eat. So, but
yes.
Without further ado, we're going to go to our Mississippi Moments segment. We'll hear about the legendary Hall of Fame punter Ray Guy. Guy is famous, of course, for being a multi-sport star athlete here at Southern Miss before becoming the only punter to make the NFL Hall of Fame. He sadly passed away November 3rd, and without further ado, let's have a listen.
This is Mississippi Moments, produced by the Center for Oral History and Cultural Heritage at the University of Southern Mississippi and supported by the Mississippi Humanities Council. I'm Bill Ellison. After high school, Hall of Fame punter Ray Guy decided to come to Southern Miss to play football. He remembers why choosing a smaller school like USM was a no-brainer.
I didn't know where Southern was until basically my high school assistant coach played here, Jimmy Kilpatrick, and he just asked me, he said, would you like to visit my alma mater? I said, where's that? He said, Southern Miss. I said, sure. Well, when I got to Southern, it was a no-brainer. It was a smaller school then. It was Mississippi Southern at that time. And I just fell in love with the campus. I fell in love with the people here. Of course, PW just took over from Pi Van, and it really was a no-brainer. It was small. To me, I like that because I come from a small town where everybody knows everybody. And the 4 years I was here, I got to know not only the administrative people and the coaches and people around town, but you get to know the students. You get involved with them, you know. So it was a no-brainer. I said, yeah, I'm going there.
To hear more, subscribe to the Mississippi Moments podcast or visit cohch.org. Mississippi Moments is supported by the Mississippi Humanities Council. The humanities are for everyone.
Welcome back to Southern Miss Today. We thank MPB as always for our daily Mississippi Moments segment. And once again, us in the Hattiesburg community and across the football landscape, we do mourn the loss of Ray Guy. A tremendous loss for everyone on campus. They have a street named after him, Ray Guy Way, so just a tremendous loss. But without further ado, we're going to go to some sponsorship messages before we have two very special guests. They're going to talk about WUSM, and who better to talk to than Dr. Wilbur Martin, the general manager of WUSM, and our very own executive producer, Whitney Howard. So without further ado, let's go to some sponsorship messages. We'll be right back here on Southern Miss Today.
Sponsorship for Southern Miss Today comes from Mr. Sippy Beverages. Mr. Sippy Beverages provides water, water coolers, and coffee service throughout South Mississippi. Take half of your weight in pounds. That's how many ounces of water you need a day. Mr. Sippy Beverages can help you reach that goal by delivering fresh water to your door. To start, Mr. Sippy will give you 1 month cooler rental and 2 bottles of water for free. To get more information or to set up a cooler and water delivery, you can call Mr. Sippy Beverages at 601-271-2420, or you can find them online. Since 1927, the Student Prince has been a direct conduit to USM students. Get your share of the more than $600 million USM brings into South Mississippi by advertising your business or service in the Student Prince. To find out more about how to advertise in the Student Prince, email sm2sales@usm.edu.
Welcome back to Southern Miss Today. Without further ado, let's get to our very special interview. Our guests are Southern Miss Today executive producer Whitney Howard and WUSM general manager Dr. Wilbur Martin, and they're here to talk a little bit about the Southern Miss Student Media Center and specifically WUSM. So, you guys, how are you today?
I'm doing great today. Love the weather.
I've been worse. I'm okay.
I feel you on that one. So, Wilbur, I want to start out. Throughout your years here, what have been some of your favorite moments of working with students here on campus? Because I know there have been plenty of faces you've seen.
Yeah, it's really hard to say. I always like to be involved in something that is part of experiential learning, where people learn by their experience with some guidance. We used to do a golf tournament in the spring, and we would always broadcast from there. And those were some of my favorite ones because being out on a remote, even I'm assuming at some point you've been in a class where the instructor's like, look, let's go outside because the weather's nice, right? So it's really nice to be out and about and still educating, learning, and that sort of thing. And I always appreciate that. Of course, it's hard to do if you're doing radio production because you need some gear.
Yes.
So having a remote and having that sort of experiential learning experience is always a big plus for me.
I know the Tuesday and Thursday host of Southern Miss Today, they've had remote a couple times. We had it, obviously, in the Thad Cochran Center, which was a great experience. So, hey, not to put any pressure on you, I'll talk to you after the show if you want to bring back the golf experience. But kind of touching on that, Whitney, I want to ask you, I know you've just joined Southern Miss here, so in your brief time here, what have been some of your favorite moments working with students here on campus?
Well, one of the things that I love with working with students is watching students grow, how students get involved in how they have got involved in the media center since I've been here has been really rewarding because it allows me to teach them a little bit of what I know in radio, and to see them actually, become acclimated to what it takes to be on the air, what it takes to create a beat, a news story, and to emulate that on air successfully is really rewarding to me, because this is not an easy task. Radio seems easy, but it gets a little tedious. Yeah. So I'm just excited about watching students grow in this profession and wanting to really learn more.
And Wilbur, I'll ask you, obviously radio is your life, right? You've done it,
It really
and
is.
ball,
It really is.
And you've done it for as long as you have, a lot of experience. But working here at WUSM, is there one thing in particular you can point to that, let's say, quenches that thirst, really keeps you going every day?
Me.
Whitney Howard. In fact, Whitney Howard, ladies and gentlemen. No, I think a lot of I'll be the old guy here. A lot of the younger generation doesn't follow radio because they've got the world at their hands if they're carrying a smartphone and sort of thing, and they can stream and do whatever, and you can find out what the weather's like in Beijing, China, or at Palmer's Crossing, just at the drop of a hat, just with your phone. I think that radio is missing the boat by not reaching out more toward younger people to offer a kind of curated playlist, a curated experience, not only for events and current events news, presenting it to where it would appeal to younger people, but also with music. And I try to do that, even though, we've gone through a lot of changes musically around here, and some people are not very happy about it, and, well, that's just the way it goes. But with big corporate radio, they typically have 5 or 6, 10 maybe new songs, and 4 or 5 of those songs will be played every hour. The rest of them are surrounded by other songs that were played every hour, 6, 8 months ago, and they don't really offer kind of a way to find new music. And if you've got someone that's really sensitive and in tune with an area, a curated experience can work, but it's easier just to not do that. And here we're going to do these 5 or 10 songs and play them until, anyone that's listening for 5 minutes in their car is going to hear it. And so, I don't know. I mean, radio, and back when I was a kid, when I was your age, it was nothing for me to get my radio and tune it to a radio station, either the ones my parents owned or others that were in reach, and listen for an entire night while I was doing homework. And if there were more exciting game consoles than the Atari 2600, things may have been different. I hope not, because I think I got a really great education in music, and I learned a lot of things by hearing other people do the deal and do it correctly. And I think that's missing a lot. And that's hopefully something I can, with my work here at the station and what I do with students, with you guys, hopefully I can maybe instill some of that, show kind of what the glory days were. And they're called the glory days for a reason. It doesn't mean that they're done. It just means that they are changing, as it were. But if that kind of makes any sort of sense,
that's sort of the way I kind of consider it.
And I'm glad you brought that up because I kind of feel the same way, right? A lot of your modern radio stations, they play the same song over and over. They filter through the same amount. And not to be your PR guy or anything here, but that's one thing I do like about this station is that it takes a while for you to hear the same song twice. And I say that's remarkable.
Well, I mean, yeah, I try not to make it just the cookie cutter. And, and I could do that. If I wanted to do that, I could do that. And I purposefully don't. I purposefully offer a lot of different things that I think have a common thread, and no matter kind of what I've done in the past, and people will always ask me, well, what's your favorite kind of music? And it's like, well, I really like good music, and just sort of leave it at that.
Exactly.
Because, I mean, there's some of the greatest songs ever written by Willie Nelson, as well as, Paul McCartney, or Michael Jackson, or any number of people. I mean, there are fantastic songs in all genres, and that tell great stories. And I think that being exposed to that from a young age really made me appreciate everything. And I think that I wish a lot more people would, and that's one of the things I try. It's like I wish they would sort of expand their reach a little bit. It's so funny. To be honest, and I'll be honest here because that's the only thing I can be.
Yes.
And I had some people after we sort of made some changes. It was like the sort of call was made that, hey, you need to appeal more toward students. You need to, appeal toward more of the student body, and versus a lot of the other things that we did. And a lot of people were mad. And they would call me up and they go, this is just crazy. This is stupid. And it's like, I just turn the channel when there's a rap song on. It's like, you could probably learn a lot about why things are the way they are.
Yeah.
If rather than just dismissing something out of hand, if you would just take a second and go, that's interesting. That's a different perspective. But I mean, people are too in love with outrage.
Absolutely.
It's like, I hate it. All right, fine.
Talking
Whatever.
to Wilbur Martin, General Manager of WUSM, and Whitney Howard, the Executive Producer here on Southern Miss Today. One thing about WUSM, there's really something for everyone. I know there's a number of musical programs. I believe Mean Willie Green hosts a couple. I believe you host one, Whitney, coming up. So could you guys just kind of give our listeners a little insight on some of those in case they don't listen to them?
Well, okay, I'll do a little bit.
And I'll talk about my show after.
Right. So you are involved in a show
Maybe.
that is called 4th Street Sports, and that comes at 5. And I really like that. I think you guys mix it up pretty good. Musically, you always have some really great guests, and your insight into Southern sports, Southern Miss sports, no matter what the sport. And that's the great thing that I really like about the show, is that it's not just oriented on one thing. I mean, some people are like, football, football, football. And sure, football has its plays and it's great, but to be able to hear about cross country or volleyball or other things that are not just the marquee, sport is really great. They just released the baseball schedule, and I don't know if you guys are going to talk on that or touch on that. Who's the person with the baseball beat, or is there one assigned yet?
So Dima is it for the Student Media Center, and I cover it for Big Gold Nation. So
okay.
really, there's both of us.
Okay,
there.
right on. So yeah, there's really, really cool things to look at regarding the upcoming baseball season, which is always a big Hattiesburg thing. In addition to that, Thursday night's kind of the heavy night, so you got Bring Me the Radio happening at 8. With Context, This Sucks, which is a really great emo show with Jackson. That's at 9. And Mean Willie Green does a heavy metal show from 10 to midnight. We do jazz on Sunday morning. There's a really fun show Saturday morning at 9 with DJ Michelle, and she's got her kids, and they do a show. The show's Hickory Dickory Dock, and they play children's music. So there's a lot of really great stuff. Whitney, you want to
Yeah, absolutely.
contribute.
Absolutely. So my contribution to WSM is Classical Corner, where I bring the best in classical music. For all of those classical lovers, you can listen on Sundays from 7 to 9. Now, a lot of people actually love classical music because I ask people, where do you normally hear classical music? And they really don't have the answer. But to answer that, mainly every commercial that you hear, that you see on television, and a lot of the stories, the TV show that you hear, the bedliner music is going to be classical music. So you hear classical music all the time. It's more than Beethoven's Fifth, which everybody knows pretty much by heart. It's more than that. It's a lot of music that people love, that people listen to all the time. And one of my reasons is because on Sunday, that's kind of like the chill moment. So I want to be able to have students who are doing homework to listen to Classical Corner and just kind of put some classical music on low and just kind of like do your homework and hopefully make A's. For people who are getting off work, getting out of church, just want to relax, tune in to Classical Corner, and I guarantee you I will put your mind at ease.
Absolutely. We'll tune into that. And Wilbur, I got about 30 seconds left. So my last question I want to ask you is that as the semester comes to a close, what are some of the things listeners can look forward to next semester, and will there be any changes in any way?
No planned changes. I think that we'll probably mix some things up just within the Student Media Center in general, and maybe some new faces here and there, some additions to the things that are on.
Definitely new
And
faces.
musically, we're going to nothing but saw. So, like when I say saw music, there is a genre of music where people play hand saws with a bow, and so that's I'm just completely kidding on that. I'm just joking on that. No,
Well, they
don't
play
look
drums
forward
with
to
the
any
bucket,
particular
so why not?
changes. Yeah, no kidding. Don't look for any particular changes musically. Just a lot of great modern pop and alternative music, and yeah, that.
Hey, give us a couple years. We'll figure out how to get a handsaw music program going, but that's all we have time for. Executive producer of Southern Miss Today, Whitney Howard, general manager of WUSM, Dr. Wilbur Martin. Thank you all for joining us.
Thank you so
You're
much
welcome.
for
Thanks for
having us.
having me.
And we'll be right back here on Southern Miss Today.
Sponsorship for Southern Miss Today comes from Mississippi Beverages. Mississippi Beverages provides water, water coolers, and coffee service throughout South Mississippi. Take half of your weight in pounds. That's how many ounces of water you need a day. Mississippi Beverages can help you reach that goal by delivering fresh water to your door. To start, Mississippi will give you 1 month cooler rental and 2 bottles of water for free. To get more information or to set up a cooler and water delivery, you can call Mississippi Beverages at 601-271-2420, or you can find them online.
What's going on, Southern Miss Radio? I'm Austin, aka Smooth Oz, with 4th Street Sports Show. Me and the crew are back on Mondays at 5 p.m. Yes, Mondays at 5 p.m. Tune in to 88.5 for all things Golden Eagles athletics and a fun-filled experience with recaps and interviews from coaches, players, and administrators. Mondays at 5. Don't forget.
Welcome back to Southern Miss Today. We once again want to thank our guest, General Manager of WUSM, Dr. Wilbur Martin, and our very own executive producer, Whitney Howard. Definitely a lot to look forward to with WUSM. But without further ado, let's go to our daily SM2 wrap. We hear from SM2 reporter Brooke Parker as she reports on the Rosary Run. Let's have a listen.
Rosaries in hand and nothing but dim streetlights as a guide, student members of St. Thomas Aquinas Catholic Church have been praying over neighborhoods for years. What is now a loved tradition began with Pastor Mark Ropel, who walks the same path every day.
It's something he's done his entire life and career as a priest. He goes to walking every 5 a.m. every morning, every day of the week, and so on Mondays he invites us out to join him on this rosary to start our week off with in prayer and community.
For many college students, sleep is a coveted thing not worth giving up, but for members of Eagle Catholic, it's worth the early wake-up call.
I just love the community, and also I just love it that we're getting up this early and we're setting our intentions for people who are probably still asleep and they have no idea that we're praying for them. But also I just love this community. We pray the rosary, but we also afterwards just get to talk, and it's just a great way to start the week.
If you're not a morning person, Eagle Catholic and the St. Thomas Aquinas Catholic Church host various activities throughout the week as well.
You know, we're here to serve the students. We have, the difference between Sunday dinners after the 6 p.m. Mass, around 7 p.m. we have student dinners. Every other Tuesday we have Encounter, which is we bring in speakers from around the coast to talk about, teach the students on their Catholic faith.
Student Mass is held every Wednesday and Sunday at 6 p.m. Brooke Parker, SM2 News.
Back here on Southern Miss Today, thank you, Brooke, for that report. But unfortunately, that's all we have time for here on Southern Miss Today. So, on behalf of audio engineer Kelsey Bolden, executive producer Whitney Howard, our video producer Devontae Anthony, who I don't know if you can see, he's got a sharp black coat on, looking sharp today. But newsreader Madison Warren, I'm Jackson Howell. This was Southern Miss Today. Stay golden, Eagles.